The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all. So I hung out with your National Nightmare the day before Valentine's Day. And on the way back from the OCC Bar and Grill in Clearwater, Florida, where we saw Billion Dollar Babies, the Alice Cooper cover band, she got to hear about half of the passive-aggressive pansexual peanut butters. And she had herself a good time. She was laughing pretty hard. And then when I dropped her off at her abode, she sent me a message. She's like, I've listened to the entirety of your passive-aggressive pansexual peanut butters catalog. And I'm just wondering, Cyrano de Bergerac, will you write a song for me? And I was like, your National Nightmare, I will do anything for you. Except give me money. So I will also give her money.
Evidence in the past.
I will write a song for you. And so she sent me like an idea for a song. And so I went home and I did it immediately. It came out really, really good. And the album cover is the like, it's her, but it's also like the idealized version of her from the back. Because everything with the pansexual peanut butters has got to be from the back. Oh. And
oh my.
So I did kind of a riff on Terrible Lie because the whole thing was about how people lie about her. And that became National Nightmare. I know it's a nickname that you and Coop gave her.
Our long National Nightmare is over.
She has taken it on like the Undertaker.
Love it.
Love Vince it. Vince McMahon gave the Undertaker that gimmick, Mark Calloway that gimmick, and he was like, "I'm gonna run with this." Mm-hmm. She's running hard. 800 miles and still running. So the next day, I'm out with Erica, and I'd sent her the song. She said this was great. And I was like, she's like, are you going to do any more songs about me? Because, she enjoys that sort of thing. The fawning attention, the devotion.
Sure.
The goddess-like worship.
Okay.
Only woman on earth. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do another one. And I was like, I want to do one. Now, like, industrial is okay. It's not really her thing. Her thing is more like ska punk. Yeah?
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm going to do a ska punk song. And I'm going to call it Jackie's House. And she was like, that's great. Don't use my actual name, though. Spell it Jacqui.
Jacqui.
Spell it Jacqui. So she says, spell it Jacqui. I'm like, that's fine. I will do that. So I made like a skate punk song called Jackie's House. And it was basically about this very small window of time when me and that group of people were all getting along and we all liked each other. And we weren't stabbing each other in the back like the mirror Star Trek universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out really, really good. She heard it and she was like, this is wonderful. Do one more. I'm like, oh boy. Just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Come on, sing it with me, Jesse. I just can't get enough.
I just can't get enough.
So she was like, can you make one for my celebrating my deceased husband? And I was like, sure. Did another skate punk song, did it based on the memories that she sent me and what I knew of the situation, and sort of celebrated their life together. Did not want to get into his death or anything like that.
Sure.
She loved it. So those three songs are, one of them's out already. The other two will be out momentarily. And all three of them are pansexual peanut butter songs. So the other thing that's been happening, Jesse,
Mark.
I don't want to have the Radulich Broadcasting Network languish on Spotify. I want to pump it full of life, full of vim and vigor. And so we only do this once a month because, we have lives and wives. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So in the off time, I wanted to take some of the songs that we don't have planned for full episodes of sessions and turn them into songs. And I've done that twice now. And because you're the one that I want.
Ooh.
Jesse Starch is the one that I want. I've been going through our Metal Hammer of Doom extras.
Okay.
And I took the funniest one that we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
The one that sparked other bits of content. Our review of James Brown's Living in America from Rocky IV.
That's right.
And you've heard it, and I'm going to stop. So I'm going to take a breath so that you can get in your 2 cents. That became We Sort the Mail.
Yes.
That is an epic funk fucking banger. What did you?
Well, listen, if you want to get on my good side and get on with the good foot or whatever you want to say, you make a funk song. For some reason, I was just telling Mindy this a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I am such a fan of funk for some reason. Like that is when I do a song, like it is going to usually be in that genre. It's going to be some type of weird, either swamp funk or cyberpunk funk or something, just some kind of variation,
funk.
variation of that. And I mean, I put in weird stuff for the genre too. Like funkadelic funky town, and then just let it see what it would come up with. So yeah, I again, Sort the Mail was one of the things we just for probably about a year straight we were just yelling it randomly on podcasts. But yeah, when I listened to it, so I was on my way over to my buddy's house to go play some Dragon Age. You'd send it to me. I hit play. I'm in the car, and I'm like, "All right, let's see what we got here." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is where it's at. This is some good." I love the references that. I mean, clearly, it's referencing a lot of the stuff that we were talking about, and
it quotes you verbatim.
Right.
Please tell me things other Americans do. That is a lot.
Yes.
That you say.
I remember that.
Dude, half of the lyrics is just like, hot coffee and something like black coffee and a hard roll. That was something that you said. You were just like, we've got donuts on the table, trash on the floor. All pure Jesse Starcher.
Oh, man.
Raw Jesse Starcher from the plant.
I love it. Yeah, great stuff. Good stuff. And again, a way of making a lasting memory in song. So it was wonderful.
I listen to it constantly. Like I'm like that and Too Old to Die Young. I'm jamming those in the house.
There you go.
There was another one that we did, and I kind of got bit by the bug one night. I was like, if I when I have time, I'm going to go back through some of these Metal Hammer of Doom extras and some of these ones that I'm not going to make full episodes of sessions, and I'm just going to bang out a song. Jesse won't mind. I do a little thing on my own, right?
I don't mind.
You don't mind.
I don't mind.
So I grabbed the other funniest thing ever, which was the Heaven Shall Burn Eradicate video that we did.
Because we could not breathe while reviewing it.
Tears streaming from our eyes. It was that laughter where you can't make noise anymore. You're laughing so hard.
Yep.
What was it, like the Tiger Mafia and and then like a chimp that throws a brick at a helicopter and
picks up. Yeah. I mean, it was just like there'd be an absurd thing that happens where like they're shooting people with a wooden gun. and we have a bunch of and then you would laugh about that just in time for something more absurd to happen. The kids would be dancing while all this murder is going on.
I was like a body positive, short, squat black woman just kung fu kicking guys.
She was taking care of business.
Yes, she was. So the other thing about it is between Fra Diavolo and the pansexual peanut butters and this, like I don't always get to play with different kind of like genres of music. And especially with the pansexual peanut butters, I really want to like get out, do some weird stuff. Like, I took a bit from the Muppets review that Alexis and I did, and I made a song out of like a throwaway joke. And I was like, I want to really play with like Arab sounds because I love Desert. I think it's Desert Rose by Sting.
Okay.
And he uses a lot of like Arabic sound. So like, I don't want to just do the same shit over and over and over again. I want to play with different genre and different sounds and music. And Cyrano was really great for that. So I played, so I did that with He Said Peace, Crazy Larry song. And here I kept seeing this thing called Afro beats. And I don't know what an Afro beat is, but it sounds fun. And since this was evoking African like student films and stuff, I was like, let's do. I threw the transcript into ChatGPT, and I always like to throw things in cold and be like, relax, like react to this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the GPT says, and when I can make the GPT laugh, I feel good about myself. I realize it's all code; it's not meaningful, but it entertains me for a moment. So I was like, I threw it in there, and we just react to this, and it was just like, oh, you and Jesse beat silly gooses again. This is fantastic.
Oh boy.
And I took that and I made Kung Fu Monkey Revolution, which is out now. And I kind of did like a half metal, half Afrobeat song. It's a fucking banger. It's really good. But it's also, I think, very unique sounding. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been up to in the world of artificial intelligence, AI slop music. Which brings us to tonight, the official Sessions podcast, starring yours truly and the infamous Jesse Starcher. Tonight we're talking about BoJack Horseman, a podcast that I did 5 years ago, and I listened to about an hour of it before we started the show tonight. And boy, you can tell how sick I was.
Oh, really?
You could hear the cancer in my coughing.
Oh, jeez.
It was 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. It was like I think during like the lockdown and the pandemic where we weren't doing a lot of movies, so we were doing a lot more television. And it was one that Robert was like, I love this show. I love the way it talks about depression. You're a good person to talk about this with. So will you watch? It's in its last season. So you can watch the entirety of it and we can talk about it. It's a 3-hour podcast.
Dang on.
And when in this season of Sessions, this volume 2 of Sessions, it's no longer about the moments. It's about the podcasts. And it's ones that left a memory with me, Last month we did Too Old to Die Young, and that was a 3-hour podcast. And it was me, you, and Robert, and just how much fun we had talking about Refit and how it affected us. And, it was more therapy session than it was podcast, that kind of a thing. BoJack Horseman, Robert and I have had some great podcasts. We've had some shit podcasts. We've had podcasts where we agreed, where we disagreed, where we attacked each other, where we were practically making love in the podcast. Like, you name it, we've had them all. And BoJack Horseman was one of those where we had in between the coughing, a really great conversation about mental illness and how it affects people. And so I wanted to, as the second episode of Sessions this year, I really wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to derive a song from it. And when I threw it into ChatGPT, it was like, you guys, what comes out of your 3-hour conversation is this meditation on how depression works. And depression is not necessarily Kristen. And I actually said this on the podcast, Kristen Stewart, like bed rotting for, a year while the room spins around. This is the second Twilight movie I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you can still function and operate in the world with a level of depression that makes you unbearable to others and kind of chaotic and toxic. And that was kind of the BoJack Horseman television show, and that's what we talked about. And so that's what we're doing with tonight's song. I drew musical inspiration from Johnny Cash's cover of Nine Inch Nails' "Hurt," which now I think is the version that everyone knows. Like, later, like millennial and Gen Z, probably think that "Hurt" was by Johnny Cash. It was not. It was on the second or third Nine Inch Nails album that came out when they were, when they made it big. The Downward Spiral is what it was called. And the other inspiration I drew from the same Johnny Cash album, I believe it was Johnny Cash 4, his cover of Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. First of all, he sounds like my father had a really funny joke at the time. He was just like, Johnny Cash sounds like he's not going to make it to the end of the song.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard, and I'll take a breath so you can answer this. If you've ever heard Johnny Cash's rendition of A Bridge Over Troubled Water, it is the saddest thing ever captured in audio format. He literally does sound like he will not. He by the end of the song, he will blow his own head off if he
Oh
doesn't
wow.
just outright die. It is not until Chris Cornell's cover of the Sinead O'Connor song.
Nothing compares.
Nothing. Yeah, not since Chris Cornell's "Nothing Compared to You" have I heard something this fucking sad. So, those are my thoughts, Jesse.
Well, it should be an interesting, put together here. I mean, I didn't have a real good chance to take a look at the genre that you're shooting for, but I was going to say it sounds like we're heading into depressing country, slow, sad stuff. Something to make you feel.
That would make Merle Haggard say, "Buck up, son. Life's not all that bad." That's what I'm going for here. I want people by the end of the song to consider.
I've created
their life choices.
I think I've created one sad song, and it's one of those ones where, like, I'm not. Most of the time, I'm on here having a good time. The only time that I created
most of the time we create happy music.
I mean, I don't have any reason to create something thoughtful and sad, I should say. At least, I've only been inspired to do that one time, and that was the 5-year anniversary of my dad passing away. And I created a song called 5 Years Gone, and that I've listened to like maybe 5 or 6 times because it's too damn sad. Because it's a situation where I did my own lyrics, did my own stuff. And it was, so that's probably the saddest thing I think I've created. Everything else has been about food or bodily functions of some sort.
Whatever random fight you're having with your wife.
Yes. And it's always usually either metal or good, or it's upbeat, or it's up tempo. So I don't normally go into, the sad genres of things, light and airy. About the closest thing to that is probably some of the stuff that I've done for, like the Stiznarky, Local on the 8 stuff and the mall music stuff. But that again is just like, it's a completely different genre than what I'm used to listening to, easy listening stuff. And that's different.
I would say some of the early passive aggressive pansexual peanut butter stuff borders on sad. She Is a Cat's fucking hilarious.
Yes.
But the second one I did, the follow through blues. First of all, it's the blues. If it's happy, you fucked up.
Yeah.
But the follow through blues, being about Erica's inability to follow through on a task her child asked her to do. 1, cracks me up. 2, it actually does legitimately sound sad. It sounds like an overwhelmed woman just falling apart in a pile of paperwork.
Oh, jeez.
The muse. Betrayed and Broken. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm tired of talking about the subject matter. But it was kind of the last squeeze of venom out of me on that particular subject, and because I was going for oh gosh, what the hell's the chick's name? Oh gosh, it was a song from The Great Gatsby. A second.
Do not know.
Yeah, no. I'm getting it. Soundtrack. Okay. Lana Del Rey, the Young and Beautiful.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, because I was going for Lana Del Rey's Young and Beautiful, there was no way to not make it sound sad. Plus, it was about a relationship fucking blown up. So that there's no happy version of this. Boxes in the Garage is also another sad blues song. And again, now it's Erica just falling apart in over a pile of boxes of her household belongings in the garage. There's a lot of that going on in the early passive aggressive pansexual stuff. But I would say after that, I kind of stopped with the sad music. Like I think I squeezed all the juice out of that particular fruit and moved on to other stuff.
It's interesting. It's interesting to think if it's therapeutic or not. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't know if you listen to. I'm looking at your track lists on Suno right now. Now, I don't know how much you're listening to it on Spotify, but I could see like Boxes in the Garage. You've got 16 plays on that, so that's a situation where you probably played it a little bit, and you're just like, okay, all right, this is kind of depressing. I gotta call it.
I would say that the two most quasi-depressing songs that I've listened to repeatedly were probably Everything Hurts and I Am Not Available After 9. Frankly, I Am Not Available After 9 is my most favorite thing I've done.
I was gonna say that seems more like a a theme or something, like something that you can, or something that a slogan. That is definitely. Yeah, well, I've listened to it once, but I don't recall the lyrics like being too sad though. I mean,
it's not sad. It is definitely a bitter man being angry at everyone bothering him.
Okay, well, that's I identify.
Yes, that's the most wonderful piano. It definitely has a bit of sadness, to it. It's not necessarily a sad. The subject matter is not sad. It just kind of sounds a little sad, like. Leave me the fuck alone. It's like that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Everything hurts. Genuinely, is sad sounding. He's just like when your knees won't bend and your back is like. I was not doing well when I wrote that song, and you're right. It is therapeutic. All of the shit's therapeutic. The stuff with the 3 songs I did. It's funny because I kind of see where you were going with. When you do these things and you kind of hit that place where you're like, I'm done now, I can move on. You do the Tony Stark thing of I can rest now. I did 3 songs related to Your National Nightmare. 2 at a minimum were by her direct request. But then I was happy to do them and they made me feel good. And when it was over, I was done. I don't need to, that is a subject matter. I don't need to do this anymore.
Right.
The only reason why Erica continues to get songed is because I live with her and funny shit happens.
I was going to say, new shit happens every day, and now we can make a song out of it. Right. Right. I've been there.
We're getting comments and they're all insulting. It's pretty funny.
I didn't realize we're actually getting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's all abusive shit right now. It's all guys scrolling through shorts, I guess these are called, and there's just let me see if I can get these guys to react to me. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna put them on here and hurt your feelings. So it's all bullshit anyway.
It's all bullshit.
After I did the 3 songs about Your National Nightmare, I was like, okay, I kind of excised that from my system, and I can move on and do other stuff. And it's not like. I had this deep well of regret or anything like that. It was okay. I've now talked about this 3 different ways that I can possibly talk about this. I would like to talk about something else now,
right?
And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I recently worked on Remy's $1 Million Dinner, which I think you've heard all those tracks. That won't be out till later in the year though. But that was a fun experiment with the Remy lyric generator.
Oh yeah,
talk about that for a second. Just really quickly.
Yeah. So, Remy is, as Suno has titled it, their unhinged lyric generator. You could do so many different things with it. I was kind of walking Mark through some of the different ways that you can use it over the weekend because he was creating some songs with it. I do one of many variations, one of which I'll just throw in either a saying or just a phrase.
We sort the mail.
And then click and let's see what we get. And we'll get, a song that may or may not seem like a song. The lyrics just may go. I mean, I've seen one thing about Remy is it likes to repeat stuff in the chorus. Mm-hmm. Which, again, you throw it into Chat GPT, that's not what you're usually going to get. Remy's good about that because it's not conventional. Yeah. But what I like to do is grab maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different generations, stitch them together and throw it in.
Let me confront that for a second because you have been doing the word generator, the word counter bit on Metal Hammer of Doom for a decade now, and that some of the shit's written at a 3rd grade level.
Yeah.
The fact that Remy's using a lot of repetition when you think about like some of the best songs that have ever been written, had a lot of repetition.
Oh
Everyone knows a Kiss song. Kiss songs are like 90% repetition.
Right, dude. Right, and that's kind of what I get out of Remy is like, okay, it's going to be a bunch of repetition, which I have done some where it seemed like to have repeated things at least 10 times, and the song still sounded great. It was still a lot of fun. I did one over, I don't know if it was over the weekend or a couple weeks ago, where it just started repeating the word heard. Heard. And then it went on to a different part of the song, and I was like, I'm going to keep this. Let's see how it pulls it off. And it sounded good. It sounded good. But yeah, you can throw a phrase in there. You can also start like a verse, throw a verse in there, two parts of a verse, and then turn it loose and see what you get. You can also prompt it similar to what you have in Suno or ChatGPT and say, blues song about falling asleep and my arm falling off. And it will then create a song about it, and it'll title it and everything. But it's random stuff. I'll never forget when they unveiled it. I sent this song to you. This is one of the ones that's going to be on Spotify. But I did a song. I said I wanted a song. This is the first time I used Remy. I said, give me a song about paying bills. And it came up.
We got to talk about this. Go ahead.
It came up with like that song. And I said, I want a blues. I think I remember saying I want a blues song about paying bills. And it comes up with all of those lyrics. And I was like, this is amazing. I said, if this is the way these songs are going to be generated from here on out, I mean, Remy's the way to go. And then I took it and I said, give me a song about aliens. And I got some of the most off-the-wall fucking lyrics that I had ever heard.
Was Poop in a Bag a Remy?
No. Yes, it was. I think okay. I'm sure it was because Kira said.
How did we come up with "Put My Poop in a Bag" like Will and Jada?
No, that's definitely Remy.
Okay.
That is definitely Remy. Do you remember the Florida Man song where I said all I did was prompt it by saying greased up something or other. I cannot remember.
Greased up deaf guy from Family Guy?
No, it was the dude from Bronson.
Okay.
I need somebody to grease me up and no, I said I want a song about a guy who gets greased up and runs around naked and wants to fight everybody.
Right.
So I said generate, and Remy's like, okay, sure. It gives me Florida Man, and it also because I'm a Florida man. And I want someone to grease my buttocks. And I was like, okay, and then it starts talking about how I'm not talking about the movie Bronson, the 2008 film with Tom Hardy. No, and it threw all that in there. It was like one shot. It was hilarious. And I said, let's make a song. But anyway, Remy can just come up with some of the craziest wackadoo stuff. And it's fun to just put it in a song and see what you get. For me personally, other people may not like that. Other people may not be a fan of like just nonsensical lyrics, which I don't think my family is. I'll tell you that much. I'll play stuff for them and they'll be like, what the hell are you? I don't like this. I do. I love it.
All right. You ready you have any questions about the BoJack Horseman stuff, or are you just ready to roll?
Never watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have listened to the podcast, but again, that was forever ago. So I didn't realize that BoJack Horseman had a big commentary on depression, though.
Yeah.
So
if you watch, it's worth watching. It's 6 seasons. So why don't you get set up? I've sent you the lyrics. I sent you the style prompt as a starting point. We can kind of massage and adjust as we go. But I'm going to darken my camera for a second, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, let me go ahead. I don't think I could control the screen, but I can definitely try and share mine for right now. And then I don't know if it'll let me. We're going to share the audio. And I got it. I can't add it to the stage because I'm not running the program. Well, anyway, so yeah, we're going to definitely. I was looking over some of the stuff that Mark has here on his when we share this. We'll be looking at Mark's profile on Suno. The Remy album that he's got coming out. I mean, it sounds. There were a couple songs on there that sounded really, really, really good. Jacketed in Blood and Butter. That's going to be some good stuff. Golden Bone Broth. Solid couple songs there that he sent over. Let me see what we've got going on here.
I have returned.
He has returned. I've got my screen share in there. You should be able to see where we're at. Like I said, I was hanging out.
Why are you on my stuff?
I was looking at your stuff earlier while we were talking about it. I was just kind of going through and checking out some of your listens and your likes here and what people have kind of gravitated towards. When you go to your top, so just looking at your top songs here, I dropped all my. Now again, it could be me and you just listening to this 25 times a piece, but it's got 50 plays.
Almost every listen on here for every Irish song ever is me. Without a doubt.
Gnocchi Guillotine's up at the top with 59 plays.
Mm-hmm.
There's Butter My Buns with 36. Yeah, it's good stuff. I still get comments. I mean, my one song that has survived to this day and still gets listens, and I guarantee it's because it's on that playlist, is Metal Salad. I got a comment yesterday. Some guy was like, "Oh, I need more of this." Dude, it's been sitting there for a year and a half.
Not for nothing, Jesse. I meant to say the story before. So you talked about paying bills and then like parking garage. Like, for whatever reason, you were inspired to write a song about getting high in a parking garage. I think it was about your daughter.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, these would be great if other people could listen to them too that don't have Suno and don't want Suno. Like maybe on Spotify, like maybe on my Spotify, maybe on my DistroKid that I paid extra for so that I could print some of your stuff. Wouldn't that be great? And Jesse was like, oh my God, stop harassing me. So I just want to know. So this became the audacity of the mundane, which I pitched you like that album title. I'm like I need song. I have the perfect album title for the debut Stiznarchy official album. Because like really it's Time to Eat, but Time to Eat never got past SoundCloud. So like the first like widely available Stiznarchy was going to be called The Audacity of the Mundane. And he was like, I will send you tracks. So can you just kind of walk me through this 7-track masterpiece that you sent me? Really
okay. Quick. I love this. I love talking about my own creations. Okay. So yeah, run them down for me because I don't have them in front of me. Do you have just give me the title? And
yeah, it was Parking Garage.
Okay. All right.
Paying Bills.
Okay.
Them's Grillin' Beans.
Oh my gosh.
Mac and Cheese Champion of the World Live.
Oh shit.
Let me bring up my DistroKid real quick.
Well, okay, let me just go ahead and start out. Parking Garage is definitely inspired by some situations that my daughter has. She's gone to college, and we found out that they apparently a bunch of people get together in the parking garage below the dorm and just smoke up.
All right. So here's the track listing in the order that I put, because you didn't send me like an order or anything or any preferences. You were like, here, take this job and shove it. And I'm like, great. So I was like, I will put this in the order I think it works best in. So the first track is Jump Me.
Okay.
Then Parking Garage. Then I Found My Keys in the Toilet.
Yes.
Then Pay Bills. Then What You Got in That Bag. Then Them's Grillin' Beans. And then Mac and Cheese World Champion Live from the Kitchen. Hit it, Johnny.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Parking Garage, like I said, it's about getting high in the parking garage. I went for a stoner rock song, and I think it turned out good. A lot of this is all Remy, by the way. But some of it, I mean, even though as wacky as the lyrics can be, it's still fun to listen to, in my opinion. So we got Parking Garage, and then we have Pay Bills, which was, like I said, my first foray into Remy back when it first got released. And then I did a V5 cover of Pay Bills. And it's just really about like the task of every month, writing a check and sending it out with a smile on your face, paying the bills. And that is definitely the the incarnation of the audacity of the mundane. And then we have, give me the next one. What was the next one? Them Skrill and Beans?
I dropped my keys in the toilet.
Okay. So getting another situation.
And we've lost Jesse.
Another situation where I told Remy, I said, give me a song about dropping. I found my keys in the toilet. And yes, it is oh my gosh, I liken it to the Sheryl Crow song, like oh my goodness, where she's sitting at a bar.
It makes you happy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think that's it. That's the one. It reminds me of that.
All I want to do.
All I want to do.
That's the more upbeat one where I like a nice beer buzz when I wake up in the morning. I'm a whore. That's that one.
So that song for some reason reminds me of Sheryl Crow, like talking about it.
Are you a Sheryl Crow fan?
Not huge, but I mean, I know her. I've listened to her a few times. So
I'm learning new things about Jesse.
I know some. Them's Grillin' Beans. So I don't know what company puts these out, but if you go to your local supermarket, you're going to be able to find some Grillin' Beans. There's a baked bean. It might be Bush's Grillin' Beans, I think is what it is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, one of those things I run around the house saying is them's Grillin' Beans. Them's Grillin'. Give me some of them
marvelous.
Them's Grillin' Beans. So what did I do? I threw it into Remy and I said, them's Grillin' Beans, and there's your song. It's really it's all about like some guy who's like getting ready for a summer cookout and he's making some beans, but I mean, you can't beat me. So give me the other ones. What were the other ones?
I just shut it down.
Oh, you shut it down.
Well, I figured
I can't do this off the top of my head. I got 1,800, 1,900 songs that I've created.
You talk Jump Me. You talk Parking the Road. I found my keys.
I did not talk about Jump Me. Jump Me is about my battery going dead.
Right.
Okay. My car battery went dead, and it's a hair metal song. And so it's good. It's good. It's one of those situations where I put the prompt in, and it delivered me 2 songs, one of which was 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and the other was 8 minutes of hair metal.
That's amazing. I would have gone with the 8-minute one.
I did, but I cut it off and I made it fade out at about 3 minutes. So, all right, Jump Me, Grillin' Beans. What do we got? What else we got?
We got Parking Garage. I found my keys in the toilet. What you got in that bag?
What you got in that bag? That is a simple song about a man who sees his wife walk into the house, and it's either a McDonald's bag or it's some type of fast food, and you want to know what's in there because you're a hungry man.
Wonderful. And what is the mac and cheese world champion?
Oh my gosh. I am the only person in this house that can cook mac and cheese for my son Colton. If my wife does it, she messes it up. The other 2 ain't even going to try to attempt it. So oh boy. Okay, yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah, finish your story and then we can address the comment.
So my son had told me that you're the only one that can make mac and cheese like you do, and I said all right. So the rest of the day I started I had the song, the verse started getting stuck in my head, and I started going, I'm the mac and cheese champion. I am the mac and cheese champion. I am the mac and cheese champion this side of mac and cheese world.
I really wish you had said I am the mac and cheese champion. Acknowledge me.
Sit on my golden cheese throne.
Yes, sir. There's mac and cheese hanging from around your neck, all sloppy.
Oh man,
it'll be wonderful. So to this fella here, Ratshak Thami. He says, "Hi, fellas. So I see you're making a song about BoJack Horseman. Can you talk me through a little bit of the thought process about it? What's going to be about? Yeah. Let me set this up while Jesse gets set up. 5 years ago, my friend and I, Robert Winfrey, on the podcast TV Party Tonight, did the entire series review, because we used to have that kind of time, for BoJack Horseman, all 6 seasons once it had concluded on Netflix. For 3 hours, we talked about the show. We talked about the characters. We talked about the themes. What came out of the show was it being a meditation on depression. So all these years later, I take the transcript from YouTube I put the transcript into Notebook LM. Notebook LM produces, sorry, I take the video rather, the actual podcast, put it into Notebook LM. It produces a transcript and its own interpretation of what it was we said. I make a text copy of that transcript and I upload that to ChatGPT. And then I told ChatGPT to react. And then it said, okay, here's what I see in this discussion of what you guys did 5 years ago. And then it kind of breaks down like what was good about our conversation, what was not good about our conversation, what was said, what needs some stress testing, whatever. And then from that, I pulled out what I thought would make an interesting song. One of the things, and I can kind of go back and look through this. If I go back to the top of my BoJack Horseman ChatGPT, I said, this is a transcript of a review that we did of all, and it knows who I am because I've been using ChatGPT like for 5 years now. Before I drop it, grab information on BoJack Horseman and consensus opinion on it, plus cultural legacy. So before I started anything, it pulled all of the primary and secondary information of what BoJack Horseman actually was. So it had a basis of comparison. So then I dropped the document and I said, read and synthesize what you've already pulled. It did. It said, what your review is fundamentally saying. Your conversation with Winfrey is not a recap or a fan celebration. It is a diagnosis of what BoJack Horseman is actually doing and why it's difficult to watch by design. If you don't know who I am, I'm actually a professional therapist. Been so for since 2004. So diagnosing mental illness is what I do. The most accurate depiction of adult depression on television. You both argue explicitly that BoJack Horseman succeeds because it rejects the visual shorthand of depression. A functional adult who works, jokes, drinks, sabotages others, and keeps moving. Someone who appears operational while being internally hollow. This aligns directly with why critics and clinicians later elevated the show. BoJack depicts depression as lived, not performed. And it goes on to make more notes. And so from this, we decided what the song was going to be. And so I said, generate an essay based on the above with a snappy title. It did that, which I then read on TikTok a couple of weeks ago. I asked it what it thought of the conversation. It did that. I'm not going to read through all my notes here. I kind of went back and forth with it for a while. I compared this conversation with my conversation about Barbie, which was a whole thing. I asked it to pull the 20 funniest lines. And then I said, this is going to be a song. And I told it, where I was stuck with how I wanted the song to be and what I needed some help with. And then BoJack Horseman is a hard show to turn into a song because the show isn't about fame, depression, being an asshole, or redemption all by themselves. It's about continuing to live after you forfeited the moral right to be the hero of your own story. And so the actual thematic core of what we're trying to set to music is surviving when you shouldn't feel proud of surviving, apologies without change, being talented enough to be forgiven forever, knowing better and doing worse anyway, living long enough to face the bill. So after a few iterations of what this was going to be, and then as I said it suggested Leonard Cohen or Tom Waits, and I went, or Dark Era Springsteen, and I went, no, I already know what I want this to be. I just put 2 words, Johnny Cash, and like the AI just kind of falls over. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. It's like perfect. That narrows it hard and in a good way. So now we're working with Johnny Cash, and then it's kind of talking about more of like what, if Johnny Cash were to write a song derived from the essence of BoJack Horseman, what would it be? And it kind of goes on to talk about that. And I landed on the title Living is the Sentence, which you can see on the screen as the name of the song. And here's my prompt. I want the Johnny Cash level of depression from his covers of Hurt and Bridge Over Troubled Water. In fact, I want that combination using our observations and criticisms of the show. So now we're going to switch to the actual mechanics of this, because what I did from that point on was generate lyrics, a style prompt, and a album cover. Tag in, Jesse.
So in summary, you used AI to help work through everything that you did during the podcast, like you said, and also work through, getting some good lyrics. Obviously, if you got a good premise of and a great discussion, use any tool that you can to come up with some lyrics to kind of put that into song. And then here we go. This is what we're going to do. Now, again, the point of all this is that, so, we're going to basically create a memory here. This is going to be something that, we can look back on at some point later on down the line and go, listen to that. That was something that we experienced. And I think, me personally, that'll be some of the most fun is like in 5 to 10 years, going back and listening to these songs and
why was I so sad?
Remembering the experience of, number one, the podcast, and number two, putting the song together. So
before this goes any further, I want to read the style prompt and then go ahead and hit generate. And while we're waiting for it to generate 2 songs, I'm going to read the style prompt here. Late career, stripped down American folk country ballad in a minor key at a slow tempo. Sparse acoustic guitar and soft piano foundation with minimal bass and faint ambient organ. No drums until a barely perceptible heartbeat pulse in the final chorus. Warm analog tone, intimate close mic vocal, restrained and weary delivery with slight tremor and controlled vibrato on sustained lines. Conversational phrasing, plain spoken lyrics with a biblical cadence, no modern slang. Mood is exhausted confession and moral reckoning. Dignified sorrow, not theatrical. Use space and silence to carry emotional weight and end unresolved with a fading vocal over a sustained minor chord. So we'll see how it interpreted that particular style prompt.
Yeah. I just noticed something here. They have something here that says co-write now. That's interesting. So, and I always love logging into Suno and finding new stuff that they decided
to play with.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I actually created 4 of these.
Okay.
All right. I jacked the weirdness up and the style influence up on these 2 right here that are generating now.
Okay.
But these are the 50%ers right here. So we'll take a listen to these 2 first, and we'll kind of migrate up here to these 2.
Okay.
Just to see what we got. All right, here we go. First up. Let me turn up my here we go.
I learned how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it. Learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back. Living is a sentence. Time just makes it long. I knew what I was doing. I knew right from wrong.
Got it.
All right.
They called it under.
All
that
right.
Too clean and too young. That person has not lived the experience that I want. I want a tired old man who is praying for the meteor to hit him.
Did we have that in the lyrics anywhere? Or excuse me, in the style prompt?
It said something about being weary. Let's see what else you got here. I'm just telling you that is
right. I got you. I had a feeling that was the case.
If that's what it's going to keep being, we're going to have to massage this a bit.
All right. All right. Here we go. Here's our next one. Strangely, over in this ear.
Learned how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it. Learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's hear what the weirdness comes up with.
Closer than the first one. If I were doing this myself, I would absolutely delete that first one that we heard. I don't keep anything I'm not going to use. I would just delete it. And then, like, if the next 2 weren't good, I might go back to that second one. But I would also change the style prompt a bit because I know what the problems are with this so far.
Okay. All right. Let's just take a quick listen. And mostly what we ought to listen here for is vocals if it's going to actually do a good job. But let's hear what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely, the last song we listened to started over here, and now this one starts over here in my ear. I don't know what's going on.
I learned how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it. Learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back. Living is the sense. Time just makes it.
All right, let's check this one out. You're looking for some weary vocals, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it. Learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back.
It's closer, I'd imagine.
That is the closest to what I want. Can you go through the style prompt and let me look at it again. All right, so this is all fine. This is all fine.
Weary delivery. So here we go. Intimate close mic vocal, restrained and weary delivery with slight tremor and controlled vibrato.
Okay, I think we need to put in old man bass.
All right. Restrained, older, bass.
And I'll tell you, I have to resist a lot of my natural urges with this because some of my most favorite country or alt country has just blossoming orchestral sound. You know, like all of a sudden violins and cellos start coming in.
Right.
And that's not what I have to resist because I love it and I want that, but that's not right for this song.
That's not this song.
This isn't supposed to be that one Cracker song that I like, Dixie Babylon. You know, where the end of it's swelling orchestral music. This is supposed to be, you don't think the singer's going to make it to the end.
Restrained, older, near death, weary delivery.
He's at the edge of a cliff and you don't know if he's going to die and fall over or not. The cliff might actually just give way. One never knows, Jesse.
That's right. All right, let's see what we got here.
Learn how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learn how to talk around it. Learn how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that.
Don't like it. All right, let's see what we got next.
Too energetic.
Learn how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learn how to talk around it. Learn how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back. Living is a sentence. Time just makes.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here.
What are some of the things at the bottom that you can add to this? I'm just curious.
Chicago blues, orchestral crescendos, raw sound, rap slow, demon.
Go back and add raw sound.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is, no, not demon, raw sound. Is the magic prompt button still there? Because I like to take what ChatGPT gives me, then add some of my own shit, and then hit magic prompt and have him redo the prompt.
Yeah, well, I assume what co-write now, it's just that button. Okay. All right, so I hit it. A slow minor key American folk country ballad at 65 beats per minute, driven by sparse finger-picked acoustic guitar and soft economical piano. Economical. All right.
Trickle down piano.
Trickle down piano. Finger-picked acoustic. Oh, wait a second. Supported with understated analog bass and a faint pad of ambient organ. Vocals are recorded intimately with a weathered, restrained bass register and gentle vibrato. Verses sit plainly atop upon open silences, using pauses for emphasis. All right, let's see what we get.
Do me a favor before you do anything.
Yep.
Oh, you already hit it.
I hit it, son of a bitch.
You
What?
fucking itchy trigger finger over here. Now let's see what we got, and then I'll tell you if I want you to fix it or not.
All right, well, yeah. Leaving raw sense of space. All right, let's see what we got.
I learned how to say in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it.
Yeah, the vocals are.
So high. You get a child to sing it.
It's not a bass register.
No.
I learned how to say I'm sorry.
Stop.
All right.
First of all, finish reading off what I wanted you to do the first time was finish reading off the bottom. I want to see what else we can add.
Okay. Sad violins, bass core.
Add sad violins.
Sad violins.
Yep.
Bass core, TV show, dark ethereal.
That.
Okay. Realistic male harmonies, vibrant. Okay. Vibrant electronic beats. No. Chinese style. No.
No.
Crowd.
As much as I'd want to, no.
Silky voice, colorful, calypso. Quran Kong? I don't even know what the fuck that is, but all right.
It is starting to invent words and put it at the bottom of there, I've noticed. All right. I want you to add a line and then hit magic prompt again. The line is deep gothic vocals.
Okay. Magic prompt. Here we go.
Magic prompt. Tell me what you see.
All right. Let's see what we got here. American phone has 65.
You see how like this starts for those that are like wanting to really get interested in this whole process. You start with one thing, and then it definitely takes on a life of its own. It becomes something that you did not intend.
Right.
Almost every time.
I learned how to say I'm sorry in ways that sounded right. Learned how to talk around it. Learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They said that's just how you are. Nobody pulled me off the road. They just moved the guardrails back. Living in is a sensing. Time doesn't make it long. I knew what I was doing. I knew right from wrong. Called it understanding. Called it being kind. Living is a sentence for the ones who live too long. wasn't blind or helpless. I wasn't out of my head. I could name every problem, every line I shouldn't have crossed. I wore self-awareness like it counted as change. But knowing why you're broken doesn't keep you from the blame. Living is a sentence. There's no finish line. You don't get forgiveness just for knowing the crime. They said at least you're honest, like I'd settled the score. Living is a sentence when they keep the door unlocked. They like you better broken, if you're useful that way. They forgive what you ruin, as long as you still play. And every time they let it slide, I learn what mercy means. It isn't absolution, it's just more days to see. I watch them cheer the wreckage, call it death, call it pain. I watch them stay invested while I stayed the same. They don't root for you to get better, they just don't want the show to end. And I kept giving them reasons not to stop me then. Living is a sentence, not the fault, not the shame. It's waking up, remember, it's answering your name. No prize for surviving, no credit for regret. Living is a sentence when you don't get to forget. I'm not asking for mercy, I'm not asking to be spared. I just stand here breathing, because nobody stopped me there.
I gotta say, that was a good song. I like that song.
If this one's not better, I think that's the one.
Yeah, that was. I mean, vocals were decent. They didn't go crazy. I think there was one part where it elevated a little bit, but it did not go crazy off like where some of the other stuff had. So
yeah, no, it's not high. It's not high. It's not clean. It feels, the singer feels like he's singing from a well of sadness, which is what I was going for.
Right.
I mean, could it be sadder? Could it be deeper? Sure. And I'm now imagining the song sung by Pete Steele.
Yeah. All right.
All I have right now is Jesus, Hitler, in my head. But I can't make the thing do Pete Steele no matter how hard I try.
You've done. I think you've got close though, didn't you? Send some stuff to me that was like really, really deep.
Yeah, some of the covers that I did in the style of Typo Negative, it got fairly close.
It got close. All right, here's our next one. This one's 5 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Wow. Okay.
Sad violin. Where's that?
Sad violin.
Learn how to sing songs.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Fucking devil.
Ways sounded right. Learn how to talk around. learned how to sleep at night. They said you're complicated. They say that's just how you are.
This guy drank before this song.
Yeah, he's doing this with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
They just move the guardrails.
He didn't even finish that verse.
Time just makes it long. I knew what I was doing. I knew right from wrong. They called it understanding. They called it being kind. Living is a sin.
Living is the
Sing a song again.
Wasn't out of my head. I will name every problem.
I'm still laughing like he was before he started this.
What's that?
I'm still laughing at like he was drunk when he came into the studio. Pappy, here's your lyric sheet. Let's get it done. How's there? Anyone got a smoke?
All right.
I had a 3 martini lunch. Get that, honey? You get it, Toots?
You didn't say half the words of the song. That's all right. I got it.
Where's the bathroom? I'm gonna pee in the backyard.
It's time for a nap.
I wore self-awareness like it counted as change. But knowing why you're broke doesn't keep you from the blame. Living is a sin. There's no finish line. You don't get forgiveness just for knowing the crime. They said at least you're honest, like they settled the score. Living is a sentence when they keep the door unlocked. They like you better broken if you're useful that way. They forgive what you ruin as long as you still play. And every time they let it slide, I learn what mercy means. It is an absolution. It's just more days to see. I watch them cheer the wreckage. Call it death, call it pain. I watch them stay invested while I stay the same. They don't root for you to get better. They just don't want the show to end. And I kept giving them reason not to stop me then. Living is a sentence, not the fall, not the shame. It's waking up, remember. It's answering your name. No prize for surviving, no credit for regret. Living is a sentence when you don't get to forget. I'm not asking for mercy. I'm not asking to be spared. I just stand here breathing because nobody stopped me there.
All right,
You
that's
got a
the one.
decision. I was going to say you've got a decision to make.
No,
That
there's no decision. That's the one.
that is good. That's good.
Yeah, no, I like drunk. I like, fucking drunk Pappy. Whatever it is, sentence. That's the old drunk man, sad man I wanted.
All right, there we go. So we have got living as the sentence. You sent me the artwork for this, didn't you?
I believe I did, but I can put it up on screen if you want.
Yeah, please do. I'm gonna go ahead and
living is the sentence. Living is the sentence.
Regret.
There's our sad horsey.
There we go. Wait, every time I look at it, the very first time I look at it, I always think it's like Cousin It in a fucking hat. And I don't know why. And then I'm like, oh yes, that's a horse.
First of all, now that I'm hearing the song, I'm picturing it coming out of the horse's mouth. That's absolutely what that horse sounds like.
Living is a
living is
regret.
Oh, Wilbur, living is a sentence. So there's the artwork.
All right, love it.
Let me get rid of this now.
That was Salt Lick.
All right, I think we're done, right? That's.
I mean, yeah. All I got to do now is just associate the art, send it over to you, download it, and we have living as a sentence, the sentence or a sentence.
Living is the sentence. Yeah, I just need you to send me the song the way you did the last one. So what's going to happen? And we don't have to do a second version now to accommodate anybody. We're done. And now for the ska punk version, living is the sentence. No.
Cherry poppin' daddies.
Yeah. And now the Mighty Mighty Bosstones play "Living Is the Sentence." So this will be what I'm going to do when the show is off the air, which will be in a few minutes. After you sent me the song, which will be in a few minutes, I then go to DistroKid, and I upload the single. I upload the artwork. I put in all of the production information, and then I save it in DistroKid, and then DistroKid does all the work to put it into stores. So I'm going to put it for a week from today, since if I put it on Sundays, it'll come out in fucking June with the amount of shit I got going on. And I don't want to wait that long. So it'll come out a week from this Wednesday. It'll be out on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, TikTok, Snapchat. All of my music, whether it's Fra Diavolo, the Passive Aggressive Pansexual Peanut Butters, Radulich and Broadcasting Network, or Stiznarky, which will also be out soon. All of that is available on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Snapchat, Deezer, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to music. And you might be saying, like, what? I can just listen to Suno. Why do I need to listen to it on Spotify? Not everyone goes to Suno. It's not as well known as all that. People who play around with AI know about it, but but people who listen to music more or less listen to it on either Spotify or iTunes or Amazon Music, if you're one of those weirdos. Which the music is there as well. So that's why I do it. Also, for every stream I get, I think I checked my last thing. I mean, I'm not the band Vinyl guy, with the hundreds of thousands of listens, but I do okay, I guess. And I currently have made $2 in streams.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you think about it,
for a while.
I was going to say it's. I think Spotify only gives you point. Is it Spotify that does 0.002
something like that. Yeah.
It's really small. I mean,
Mhm.
I watched a guy break down like some of the distribution, or I should say the platforms, and how much they pay. And yeah, Spotify's pennies, less than a penny.
But I'll tell you, if you were like, if you go back 30 years, if you're, one of these bands that gets signed by a major record label, they advance you the money to go pay for the studio time and the engineers and producers and whatnot to make your record. When your record hits the shelves, that money all has to get paid back. So you figure it's $9.99 for a CD, say.
Yeah.
From that $9.99, a fraction of it has to go to all of the people who help make the album. Fraction of it has to go to the record label. A fraction of it goes to your manager, right? And then you get what's left.
Yeah. Yep.
So
you're cutting out the middlemen.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they used to have to jack the prices up on these things to pay for all those people, but the artists themselves artists have never really gotten all that much from music sales. If your shit went like platinum and whatnot, and sure, you saw a pretty penny from it, but your stuff, artists typically made money off tours, and if you sold stuff at the point of purchase, at the tour, so t-shirts, hats, programs, stickers, whatever, you typically got a piece of that as well, and then that's where you made your money. So all these like rich, famous musicians, like, they only got so much from the actual record. So when we talk about like, streaming and you only get a fraction of it, sure, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It's comparable to what you would have gotten back in the days where people were buying albums. You never got, like, it's like people act like if you bought a copy of fucking the Black Album, Metallica got all $10. They didn't, I assure you.
Right.
So, all right, Jesse, what do you think of the song overall?
Yeah, well, that was sad.
It's like, this is not a fun episode to do. The next one, I've already started working on it. I was working on it before the show started tonight. We're going to take an old source material. We're back to that again. And specifically, and I don't know if you remember this memory, but it was kind of what kicked off the gag reel. Was we reviewed, you, me, Ronnie, and Jason reviewed Planet Hulk by Greg Pak.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, or throughout it, and you just put it at the end in the gag reel, was my rousing rendition of Planet Hulk. This is Planet Hulk.
I do recall that.
Calling Planet Hulk. So we're going to take our review of Planet Hulk, turn it into a song based on Duran Duran's Planet Earth.
Lovely.
Could I not be any older?
I'm throwing 2 words into Remy right now just to see what it comes up with. All right. Planet Hulk. Let's see what our lyrics sound like here.
Wonderful.
They start, let's see, we got 2 songs here that are going to pop. One is going to be called Green Blood, Red Sand.
Wonderful.
And then the other one is called Smash the Sky. Which one do you want to hear?
Let's go with Smash the Sky.
Smash the Sky. Shipwrecked in the red sand, ash in my teeth, blood on my hands. Crowd throwing stones like they own my name, collar on my neck, but they stroke my rage. This is definitely like somewhat, that's parallel to what's going on.
So they're drawing from the comic, weirdly enough.
Right. Stealing the sun, they cheer for pain, chained like a prize to their broken stage. You call it sport, I call it war. Keep your crown, I'll crack your floor, bitches. Planet Hulk, I'm the quake in your throne room. Planet Hulk, green ghost in your war wound. Green ghost in your war wound. You built this cage around a star. Now watch it tear your world apart. Planet Hulk, you're the ones who will break, not me. I like Remy.
Turn that into a hate breed song.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Let me know how that goes.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next episode of Sessions, we'll be doing Planet Hulk, will be on March 19th, the week that I get back from New Orleans with my kids. So look for that. I already got stuff in the motion to get that going. I'm sure shortly after this podcast, I will absolutely have an album cover already done. because I do that shit early and just hang on to it.
I like it.
As for what's going on right now, this past Monday, Robert and I reviewed Psycho Killer. It's nice when we agree that something sucks. Tomorrow is Jason's last podcast for the month of February, closing out Black History Month with a Denzel Washington focus. We're looking at Glory, Mo Better Blues, and John Q. But really, Evan's the one closing out Black History Month here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network with reviews of The Hollywood Shuffle, Meteor Man, and The Five Heartbeats. That's a Robert Townsend focused, an uncelebrated gem in the history of film. And then Jesse and I will be back on March 1st. We're doing, because I hate Jesse and I want him to read all the comics all the time, we're doing Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer, because, why not make Jesse read 100 comics?
Have you started? Because if you haven't, you need to get started.
Yeah, I know.
There's 24 issues in Bruce Wayne Murderer.
Good God. Yeah, I'll probably start it this weekend. A week from Monday, March 7th, we'll be reviewing Scream 7 because God hates me. And then on Thursday...
If that was like Scream 7 : because God hates me.
That'll be a new song. Scream 7, God hates me. So, and then Thursday we're doing, because the Oscars will be, the Oscars are March 15th. We're doing our Oscar nomination show. We reviewed all but 2 movies that were nominated for Best Picture. We'll talk about it on March 5th on Thursday. So that's what we got going on here. What do you got going on there?
Oh, my goodness. Well, looking at the calendar here, this past Monday, Unspoken Issues dropped on the Source Material Comics feed. It's where me, Chris Armstrong, and Evan Bevins got together and we discussed X Nation 2099 #1. So I'm doing a neat little thing over there in regards to Unspoken Issues and the Unspoken Decade. I came up with something called 96 #1s. And basically, we are going back each month to 1996. So this past month was January. And we're creating a poll that we put out there for people to pick from 4 #1s that got released in that month in 1996. So 30 years, nice round number. We pick one from Marvel, DC, I think Dark Horse, and I cannot remember the other one, Image. And anyway, we throw 4 comic books up there. They get the opportunity to pick and determine what we're going to do as far as the podcast goes. And X Nation 2099 #1 won the poll. So we talked about that this past Monday. And of course, the Unspoken Issues podcast coming up next week is me and Mark Radulich having a great time talking about Grant Morrison's Nameless.
Oh, yeah, we did. We thoroughly enjoyed Nameless.
Fun times had by all. And then I think next month you should be able to hear me and Evan Bevins get together and talk about Marvel Snap. It's getting late. If you play Marvel Snap on your mobile device, me and Evan Bevins do a podcast called Snap Material. So check that out.
Like the crack of the whip, snap attacks.
No, Snap Attack.
My front goodness. To back in this thing called rap.
There you go, folks. That's it. I'm done.
All right. Well, for Jesse Starcher, I'm not wearing any pants. Be well, be safe, and behave.